Hi folks, what we've got here today is a Husqvarna 675 AWD all-wheel drive. And welcome back to the channel. What we're going to get to on this one here is the self-propelled system just up and quit working. It was being mowed with at the time. There was a little bit of a shrill noise. Soon after that shrill started, I mean very soon, then it was clatter, clatter, clank, and the drive quit working on both the front and the rear wheels. What we've already done is we've already taken and cleaned it up underneath quite a bit. You can see the grass pile over here that came out from underneath. It's about 3.5 inches tall, so it was quite a bit. And then we took a pressure washer to it after that up underneath, so it just makes everything real easy. Now, before we get started, from a safety standpoint, of course, we've already defueled it. It was run empty. And the spark plug down here, since we're going to be working around the blade, we're going to pop that cap off so that she won't fire by accident, okay? And see, AWD, it's the overhead valve model. It's the Kohler engine, and this happens to be a 675 Kohler engine, the XT series. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to set her upside down. If you were to turn this thing over, make sure you defuel it before you do. Otherwise, just rack it up on its side. If you rack it up on its side, and before you rack it up on its side, you do need to check right down there on that oil cap and make sure she's sealed kind of tight. When you first tip it up, check it to keep track that it's not leaking on you. And it never hurts to put down a little mat or cardboard or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get her set up. What it looks like is an idler pulley failed. So I'm going to get you in real quick for a close-up on that idler pulley. On your left, you can see what an idler pulley should look like. And you can see the plastic has come off the bearing portion of the idler pulley in the middle of the screen right now. So, given that, and its age, I believe this was built in 2009, so she's a 10 or 11-year-old lawnmower. We'll go ahead and take a look at all three and see what they look like. And in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and pull that cowling. If I was only going to do one, I wouldn't have to pull that cowling. In order to pull that, all we've got to do is take off this bolt here, and there's two more support screws that come in from the top deck. We'll get to those in just a quick second. Okay, there's that one. Now let's go around top and get those other two screws. Here's one. And I'm sure you can see the second one there. Okay. Now that cowling should come right off. Okay, there we go. Inside here, I'll give you a close-up so you can get a good look at the belt pattern. Okay? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3 idler pulleys. And this one, that's where the belt would go. That shows you your belt pattern for in case you ever need a reference on when you go to put it back together. The belt comes right around this idler pulley right there. You'll see it again when we put it back together. The plastic is missing off of this one. And then it comes around the spindle pulley portion of the pulley portion of the spindle. Then it goes up through this one and around and out towards the front. And then from the front comes, and it only goes around one idler pulley and straight out to the back. Okay? So our problem is that we don't have our other idler pulley right there. If that was in place, we'd be all ready to engage it. So the plastic has come completely off the bearing. The bearing is quite stiff. So what we'll do is we'll pull all three, inspect them, and then put them back together. And back up the camera a little bit more so I can get in there and work. This was the original failed one, and when we rotate it, it is really stiff and froze up, and I'm guessing that's why the plastic failed and came off the bearing. We'll take a good look, because we know that was a significant amount of heat that could have been produced on the belt. We'll run the belt real quick. Got a little bit of light chafing down through here, so let's pull her on through. I'm going to keep it down tight, trying to keep the belt on the pulleys. Some more light chafing. Looking for big cracks in the belt. Big signs of heat damage in the belt. You see where it cut off. It ripped a little sleeve there, but nothing significant. We'll go ahead and order up another belt so we can turn around and put a belt on later. Okay, but so far I don't see a need to replace the belt today. It was working terrific when everything failed. Okay, now we've gone all the way through it. The belt's okay. Now let's go ahead and take the other two bearings that came off and check them. This one here, for example, doesn't sound too great, but the bad part is, I don't know if you can see that on the camera that well, but this one's kind of wore out. Not completely gone yet, but it's definitely getting there. And the last one up here, this one feels great. No noise. Doesn't over-rotate. Feels very good, like it may have been replaced recently. So, we're going to go ahead and buy two new pulleys, idler pulleys. The best one, we'll keep it, but when we put it back together, we're going to put it back on in this position over here, because if it does fail, that's the easiest one to get off without having to pull the shroud. Okay? So, when we come back, we'll start putting everything back together. So we'll go ahead and do that reassembly in part 2. Thanks for watching this video, and if y'all like this stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, okay? See you in part 2.